Hi guys, welcome to yet another cold morning, and today we have the Audi Q5 Sportback. So this Q5 is of course the black edition. So what does that mean? So gone are the chrome bits and everything else. Everything is now blacked out. So starting up from the front, we have of course our blacked out Audi grille over here, and of course with our quattro badging, since this is four-wheel drive, of course, you know, Audi. Up top we also do have our nice LED headlights over here, with of course our daytime running lights. And I have to say, these headlights are absolutely amazing. If there's anything that Audi does perfectly, it's headlights, right? We both know that. It also has this little animation thing when you unlock the car, which is quite cool, even at the rear as well. So we also, of course, this also has this blacked out finishing over here and across the bumper also as well, right? Down below we also do have our parking sensors. Coming along to the side, we do have our 20-inch alloy rims. This being the S line, I'm not sure how I feel about these rims. They're okay. They're not too, I just expected a bit more, but I mean, they need to lose some space with the SQ5 and things of that matter. We of course do have our S line badging down the side, and typical Audi fashion, this is the black edition. We of course do have the blacked out mirrors over there with a turning signal over there, right? The blacked out, the black edition trim also does continue along the window seals, where usually the window seals will be chrome. This one is black, right? Up top we also do have these roof racks. I'm not sure, I don't think it comes as standard, but this unit came with them. Not really a fan. Personally, it's not for me. Coming along to the side, some people don't like it. You know, I feel like it looks like more of a Q3 than a Q5 with this sportsback design. But overall, I think it's quite a nice looking car, right? It's really quite a nice looking car. Of course, you have keyless entry over here and stuff of that matter. The vehicle is currently unlocked. Coming along to the rear, I feel like this has to be my favorite angle of the vehicle in general, right? So starting off with the rear, we of course do have our blacked out Audi logo over here, and which it absolutely looks amazing. The taillights that I spoke to you about, let me just reach for the key. Yeah, so if I unlock, the car is currently, you see that animation yana there, and I unlock it, there'll be that little animation, which is absolutely quite cool, even at night as well. So of course do have our quattro badging. So with this vehicle, if you don't know what a Q5 Sportsback looks like, you might not know. So this one, I think it's debadged or something like that, because there is no Q5. So people have been asking, what Audi is this? Because there is no Q5 badging over here. We of course do have this black strip that runs across, of which I really like, and our coupe styling with a little spoiler over there, right? Which I must say I really like. Coming down below, we have this piano black trimmings overlay down there with of course a tow bar over there. Of course, typical Audi fashion, we have an electrically powered tailgate. Doesn't come as standard, right? So we greeted to about 510 liters of boot space, and I must say it's quite a decent boot. You do not get a spare wheel of anything of that matter, but one thing I like is the fact that you get this brushed aluminium plate over there, so that you do not like scuff the bumper or anything of that matter, of course, which I really like. But with that being said, let's jump into the interior. Let me take you guys to that. Alright, so you join me inside the interior of the Q5, and right from the get-go, let's start off with the key. So the key looks like this. So we have your unlock, lock and trunk release over there. So up front, right? So up front we have this digital cluster. This Audi calls it the virtual cockpit, and I have to say I really like this, even though it is an optional extra. So it's fully customizable, so you can change the view. It shows you your maps, it shows you your fuel consumption, it shows you your calls. You know, it shows you your fuel consumption, current track that's playing. You know, it shows you quite a lot, of which I really like, right? Coming down to this thing that you hold the most, which is the steering wheel. I have to say I really like the steering wheel. The way it feels, this flat bottom steering wheel over here really feels nice and kind of feels sporty in a way, right? Of course, you do have these pedal shifters, and then on the left you have buttons to control the screen over there, and then on the right you have buttons to control your audio tracks and your call buttons. And then we have this little shortcut button that you can program it. So I've programmed it to change the color of the map over there, right, to day or night, which I feel like it's quite a nice feature. You can actually program it to quite a few things. Hey, it's actually cold, my friend. Yes. Let's take down the blower speed quite a bit. So coming down to the center, we do have a little 10-inch touch infotainment system, and I must say it's quite responsive, right? It's very responsive. The graphics are quite nice. It's a bit dark, but the graphics are quite nice. The resolution, top notch. Of course, you do have your wireless Apple CarPlay and wireless Android Auto, as you guys can see over there, of which perfect. Even though this interior is overall starting to, show its age in a bit, like, because some of the other Audis over here now have this integrated design that flows through. Of course, here we also do have this little, it feels like, what do you call this, brushed aluminium but plastic at the same time. I don't know, but the quality of material is actually quite nice. We also do have some ambient lighting over here that's actually, it's okay. I've seen better, but it's okay. Coming down below, we have our drive select button over here that you can just press it and it will show you different driving modes and stuff like that. Of course, we have our hazard button and dual zone climate control with actual knobs. I like the fact that when you hover over this, when you hover your finger over this, actually tells you what each and every button does, and then it's actual physical knobs, of which I like the fact that Audi still has it. Push to start button over there, a little compartment that seems a bit useless over here, and then we have our gear selector, of course, right, which I like this. I like this. I really like this S-tronic gear selector, and a volume knob, which is a must-have. Coming down below, we also do have two cup holders over there, and a little tray, and a center bin. And with that being said, let's jump to the back seat. Oh, one thing I almost forgot. Also does come with, what's an Audi without a sunroof? Truly, what's an Audi without a sunroof? But yeah, let's jump into the back seats and let me take you guys to do that. Alright, into the back seats, and I must say, leg room is quite decent. Headroom, despite the glass panoramic sunroof and the sloping headlining over here, it's actually quite generous. I think people taller than me maybe, but it's a bit weird. And then coming down to the center, we do have this armrest over here with cup holders over here that are a bit overly designed, but that's okay. I mean, it's Audi, it's German, right? And then this seat does drop down below for through loading and things of that matter, of which that I like. Coming down to this side, since this vehicle is going to be carrying a lot of kids, we do have a little shade over there, which is actually quite a nice feature. I like that. And then coming down below, the rear passengers can actually control their own temperature thing over here, of which it keeps the people away. Down here we also do have a 12-volt socket and two USB ports. The only USB Type-C port is in the armrest over here. Nowhere else. That's the only USB Type-C. At the back you get the traditional normal USB ports. But with that being said, let's jump into the drive of the vehicle. Alright, so you guys join me for the driving impressions of the Audi Q5, right? And right from the get-go, what powers this powerhouse, right? So under the hood is a 2-liter turbo diesel engine putting out about 140 kilowatts and 400 newton meters of torque, right? And I must say, it's quite an impressive engine. This has to be one of the best diesels on the market right now, currently. Mainly because of, when you buy a diesel expecting it to be frugal, right? It is not as fuel efficient as the Q3 that you get, as the diesel that you get in the Q3. So Audi claims about 6.2 liters. I've managed to get it up below 6.7. But realistically speaking, my overall fuel consumption has been about 7.2 with my time with this vehicle, right? And I've been pushing this vehicle, and I've just been cooking with this vehicle, right? Generally. So when it comes to safety systems, this vehicle does of course also have our blind spot monitoring assist over there, with rear cross traffic alert and things of that matter. I like nice people in the morning, man, but anyway, so it sends all that power through all the four wheels, since this is quattro meaning four-wheel drive, right? So it sends it through this S-tronic gearbox over here, of which I must say I really like this gearbox. And you know what, it's one of the best gearboxes out there, man. I mean, if you wanna have fun, you can just pop it into sports mode over there, drop a gear with the boost pedal shifters and cook, you know. Despite it being a diesel, it does make quite a nice noise. And high assurance. You know, it doesn't make that grumbly diesel noise that you expect. I've been driving this vehicle in individual mode. Let me just pop it back into comfort mode. So we have those different driving modes and everything else. With individual mode, you can customize everything and customize it to your own ability. Let's say you want the steering wheel to be in sports mode and the suspension to be in comfort mode, things of that matter, right? But mostly individual mode is mainly for hardcore things. Another thing that I really appreciated, and for 1.2 million rand in this vehicle, has to be this digital MMI system over here, Audi's virtual cockpit over here, right? I actually really appreciated this with the maps that it comes with as well. Actually makes the car feel more premium and more high-end, and I really liked it, man. It doesn't overcomplicate things. You can change the views to suit you and to be minimalistic as much as you want it, right? But when it comes to the drive and the comfort of the vehicle, despite it being on 20-inch alloy rims, it actually drives quite nice and well over road imperfections over there. I haven't taken on gravel road or anything like that, but it handles potholes quite well. It soaks them up quite well, despite it just being the S-Line, more tuned for, let's say, just slightly a bit firmer than a normal car, right? But if there's anything, I really like this vehicle. And for 1.2 million rand, how does it stack up compared to its competitors like the X4, the GLC, and things of that matter? You know what? I feel like the Q5 Sportback is it's more on the small side when you put those vehicles into comparison. I feel like it's a bit smaller when it comes to size and diameters and things of that matter. Personally, for me, it might be otherwise on paper or anything else, but for me. But you know what? When it comes to everything else, despite like the size and everything else, I still feel like this has to be the vehicle that is leading in its current pack right now. When I compare it to the X4 and the GLC, I still feel like this is the vehicle that's leading in its pack right now. So yeah, but with that being said, stay tuned for my next review, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.